Hey you guys, it's me Kianna coming at you today, and I'm coming at you to do a video, and this is somewhat of a naked moment. And for many of you that have been following me for a moment, you know that when I say it's a naked moment, that means I'm revealing something that normally I would have kept to myself, um, that normally I would consider a little bit of my private life. But when I reveal these things, I do so with purpose. I do so with a meaning behind it, and I do so so that it can help and speak to others. Um, and this video right now is just kind of talking about a recent moment in my life that was dealing with my health. Now, many of you know that I was in the hospital, and many of you have seen the videos of me doing while I was in the hospital. And I was in there for almost 2 weeks. And I did not reveal exactly what was going on, but what I did tell you was that it was not because of my gastric sleeve surgery. Um, I am now 6 months post op, and even though I have ups and downs, as with we all do, and just in our journey through life itself. And even though I have ups and I have downs, um, I still am thankful for the surgery because it did, in fact, save my life. And it is, in fact, saving my life. So I'm thankful for it. And I do know that even in my down moments, it's better than rotting in my grave. Can I get an amen? Yeah. So I recently had a moment where I had to use the electric scooter in the food market. Yeah, I had to use the electric scooter. Now, many of you wouldn't consider that a big deal. Many of you wouldn't consider that so much of a issue. Many of you wouldn't consider that a down moment. But for somebody like myself who was tipping the scale at almost 500 pounds before I had my gastric sleeve, you guys, just a few months ago, not even a year ago, not even 7 months ago, 475 pounds. I still was able to get around. I still was able to walk. I still was able to do the daily activities that I had to do for my family, for myself, for my businesses. I still was able to go to meetings. I was still able to do those things. Now, sure, let's not fool each other. Um, I wasn't able to run. I wasn't able to leap. I wasn't even able to walk fast. I wasn't even able to walk without pain. But I still was able to do it, and I still was able to push forward. So for me, after experiencing being almost 500 pounds and never using a electric scooter, um, it was quite a emotional ordeal for me to now at times, because of the issues I'm having in my body and because of some nerve issues I'm having in my legs and things like that, sometimes I do have to use it and sometimes I don't. Um, it's a really humbling experience because before, when I would walk through a store, let's just say a food market or whatever, before when I would walk through a store, people would look at me as if I was some freak of nature because I was tipping the scale at almost 500 pounds. And even though people thought that, oh, she's a pretty girl, she's always well put together, her hair and makeup is beautiful, and her eyes are pretty, and things like that, they thought those things. Yes, sure they did. Um, but I know that they were looking, saying, but it was always that, but she's such a big girl. But why would she let her body do that? Why would she let herself go through that? Why would she, she has a pretty face, but it's always that but. Big girls out there, you already know that but in the middle of our sentence or in the middle of sentences people say about us. always exists. So to have them look at me for that, and now to go through in a scooter, at the weight that I am, people don't really, it's like they don't really, uh, it's like they really don't see me. It's like I'm almost invisible. And I'll do a video on that as well, because it seems that when you lose weight, I don't know what it is, when you start to blend in and you don't be noticed as much. Um, it's a really weird situation that I'm experiencing now, going out in public and being observant and watching others, how they react to me or how they don't react to me. It's almost like you're invisible. So be looking out for that video. And I'm pretty sure to say something about being invisible in the title. But it just was a really, it was a humbling experience, having to use the electric scooter sometimes. It's a sad experience because, like I said, in my mind, here I am. I was almost 500 pounds and never had to use a scooter. And now, being the weight I am, now to have to use it is really mind blowing. It does make me sad a little bit. But I have to reconfirm and reinforce to myself that I've always said this, even when I was almost 500 pounds, I am not my flesh. This is my shell. And when we hear these things, but when we really connect with that way of thinking, these things don't carry as much weight when we start to really have that soak into our head. When we really start living our lives that way, where this is external, these things will perish, and they don't carry as much weight as our internal should and do. um, when we really connect with that, when we just, it doesn't just become a saying that people say or things that we hear deep sisters say. When we really start living that way, things like having to use a scooter at times, things like our hair not being perfect, things like maybe our eyebrow is a little crooked, you know, things like our teeth are not perfect, things like that don't carry as much weight. We're able to still say, I am beautiful, I am loved, I am highly favored, I am special, there is no one like me, I am unique, I am original, I am all that in a bag of chips. When we actually really understand that we are all of these things, not because of our external, but because of who we are internally. And besides that, and above all of that, when we really understand that we are all of that because He is all of that, when we truly understand that it's not who we are, but whom we belong to, when we really get that, then being in a hover round, sure, it may make you feel a little bit down at first. Sure, we're human. We're human. We're flawed. We're not perfect. And we're going to have emotions. We're going to feel some sort of way sometimes. But it's not about not feeling. It's about getting over that feeling and remembering, reminding ourselves what's important. So I'm sharing this moment, even though you would never have known that at times I do have to use a hover round because of my health problems that I'm having right now. At times I do have to use an electric scooter. Now, no, I'm not at the point where I have to own one myself. No, the doctor hasn't prescribed one to me. But on those bad days, if I have to still care for my family, if I still have to take care of business, if I still have to go to meetings, or if I still have to meet up with potential sellers or potential wholesalers or whatever, if I still have to do these things, yes, if it's a bad day for me, sign me up. I'm still going to press forward. I'm still going to know my value and my worth. I'm still going to press on. That's the stock that we come from. That's the strength that we have. And like I said, yes, sometimes I feel a little down about it because here I am, like I said, a person that was almost 500 pounds, never had used an electric scooter a day in my life. And now, being the weight I am, which is, I've dropped a whole plus size person. I've dropped a whole person. And sure, I haven't told my exact weight that I've dropped, but I think it kind of speaks for itself. Um, but I've lost a person. And here I am now, sometimes on bad days. Um, yes, I have to use an electric scooter around the store, or whatever. But I just, I just wanted to share it with you guys. Like I said, you would have never known. You would have never known. But I wanted to share this moment with you because I thought that it still had a message. It still had substance behind my sharing. And it still can touch you. And even if it's not a scooter for you, even if it's not an electric scooter for you, this whole situation could be different for you. But we all have something that we have to endure. We all have something that we have to look at the bigger picture about. We all have something that we have to press on and press through and press forward in. So I come here to encourage you to press forward, to know who you are and whose you are, to know that your value is so much greater, it's so much bigger, and so much broader than your external. For you to know your worth, your true worth, your inner worth, your inner being, and for you to be encouraged to focus on that and that alone. And then all else, everything else, it doesn't matter as much. It carries less weight. It has less importance in our lives. Sure, feel the emotion, we're human, but press forward, press on through that, and know who you really are. So, if this has spoken to you, make sure that you thumbs up. I thank you all for tuning in. I thank you all for supporting me, for loving me, for encouraging me, because that's what we are truly, truly made for. That's what we truly, truly are for. On that note, you guys, I love you all, and I thank you all for tuning in, and I hope this has spoken to your heart, mind, body, and soul in some way, shape, or form. Talk to you guys later, and be blessed.